Hi, it's me, Daphne. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have a book haul for you. So it's a little bit past midway through the year. It's July and I have yet to film a book haul for you, but I've collected over 30 books, a mix of physical and ebooks. So I'm gonna probably post 3 videos because there's so much to get through, and the more videos, the more fun we get to have together, right? The first book I want to talk about is extra special because it was gifted to me by the author. I have a personal connection with this person because I happen to be really good friends with her sister, and that book is The Way of the Goddess. This is a type of self-help book, and it's about like feminine power and just embodying the essential facets of divine feminine power. I just love that, and I'm very intrigued to learn more about these goddesses and how I can bring good energy into my life. Very excited about this. So happy to shout out a really cool person. I will link her Instagram down below as well if you want to learn more about tips and tricks on how to live a fulfilling life. So the first book I purchased in 2023 was Desperate Measures. I have this on ebook, and I just hear great things about this. This is a Jasmine and Jafar retelling, so it's like the villain gets the girl kind of story, but I think it takes place in modern times, maybe in a BDSM club. And I think there might be a little bit of daddy kink. I'm not really sure. Daddy kink is kind of like not my jam, but I hear really great things about this series, and I'm just excited to jump in, and I really do enjoy Katie Roberts' work, so was happy to purchase that. The next book is Africa Risen. I've talked about this a bit on my channel already. I'm about halfway through. I also have the audiobook for this as well, which I'm enjoying a lot more. It just really immerses you in the story, and it kind of helps you get over the humps of some of the unfamiliar African names, and the voice acting is really good, and there are a lot of narrators in here, and it's just a really fun time to listen to. This is an anthology collection of a bunch of African sci-fi fantasy stories. Some of them I've really enjoyed, and then some of them I was like, yeah, it was fine. And then other ones I was like, yo, I am tripping out of my mind, like what is happening? Mind blown, Then I have Rose Matter by Stephen King. This is the UK edition. I bought this for my IRL book club. We read this together, and this is about a domestic violence kind of situation where a woman runs away from her abusive police officer husband, and then there's a little bit of magic involved with this painting the woman finds. There is an underlying romance as well with another male character. Overall, I enjoyed my time with it. Then one day I went to Barnes & Noble and needed a serotonin hit, so I bought The Simple Wilde by K.A. Tucker. I haven't read any books by K.A. Tucker, and I try hard not to buy physical romance books when I haven't read from the author before, but sometimes I'm in the mood to take a risk, and I've heard only amazing things about this book from the romance girlies online. But then I learned that it is kind of fade to black, and I was devastated. So we'll see if I still like it. I believe this is about a woman going to like Alaska and meeting a grumpy, handsome man, and it's their romance story. So we'll see. I've been told it's still really good, even though it's fade to black, and that, people that usually don't like fade to black still had an amazing time with this. I guess the angst must be really good, but I'm just still a little disappointed. But I physically own it, so I'm gonna read it at some point soon, hopefully. Then I purchased the ebook of Radiance by Grace Draven. This is the first book in a series. It's like a fantasy series, and again, I'm only gonna buy things if I've heard really good things about it. I usually don't just buy things willy-nilly anymore, like when I was a teenager, when like you just go to the store, you read the back, and you're like, yeah, that sounds cool, and then you buy it. Like I'm only taking it off reviews. This is an interesting storyline. So this prince of some kind of non-human kingdom has to marry a human woman to like make an alliance, and I just thought it was funny because the two characters both find each other like extremely ugly. Like he looks at this like stunning human woman. I assume she's like beautiful by human standard and thinks she's hideous, but he has to marry her. I guess it's maybe like enemies to friends to lovers vibes, and I'm just really excited to see how they fall in love and how I'm sure they see the beauty in each other's souls and then just become attracted to each other and just like go from there. And I'm excited to go on that journey with them, and I just had to buy it. How many books are in this series? There are a lot of books. Looks like a fourth one's gonna be coming out, but there are a bunch of like novellas, it looks like, in between. If I really like it, I'll continue on with the series, but I don't usually buy novellas. I usually, because that's kind of a lot. Next, I bought Sweethand on ebook. I think Jess from Jess Owens was the first person I heard talk about this book, and she absolutely loved it. And then I've heard a handful of other people really, really enjoy it. This is a Black romance, and I think it might be second chance, and I think they might be going to a wedding, and I think somebody's a baker, and maybe the other person is a DJ. But I could totally be making that up. I don't feel like checking, but it'll be funny if I get any of that right. But again, heard great things, so figured I'd take the risk and buy it. The next 5 books I downloaded for free a while back. Some of them I got off Amazon First Reads, which I believe are these next 2. So I have Good For You, which I don't know anything about. I downloaded it for free off Amazon because it's the First Reads, and it's a romance, but I couldn't tell you anything about it. I mean, do you want me to look it up? Okay, so this story is about Allie. She has fled her corporate life and has gone to live on Lake Michigan, owned by her brother that apparently he inherited, but also apparently her brother's best friend inherited this house. His name's Wyatt, and apparently they're gonna live in the house together. It's a forced proximity trope, and that's all I know about it. So hopefully it's a fun time, and it was free. So maybe once I make like a TBR game, it'll force me to read some of these Kindle books that I just randomly have on my Kindle, and maybe they'll be really fun. The next one is called I'll Stop the World, and I also don't know anything about it. Let me look it up. Assume I got this off Amazon First Reads as well. Ooh, okay, it's not even a romance. It looks like it's a mystery. It looks like it has time travel, and it might be YA, which is alarming. I really don't know if this is the same book that I have. This does not sound up my alley, but I have it, so I'm mentioning it here. Let's move on. Then, I'm actually excited about this one. I was able to download Out of the Gate for free, which is a 1.5 book by Elsie Silvers, and I did read the first book in this series. The first one was called Off to the Races, which I liked well enough. I gave it 3 stars. I thought the main character was a little stupid and annoying at times, but Elsie Silvers' other series, with Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, like that whole thing, I read the first 2 in that series, and the writing is like phenomenal. So Off to the Races, I believe, was her debut, I think. And it was like, the writing wasn't that good, but like her writing has gotten so much better, so I kind of just want to catch up on her backlist and go through this original series because all the characters kind of overlap across the 2 series. So excited to get the 1.5 book because it was free and I don't know what it's about. Let's look. Ooh, already it's an age gap. The guy is 10 years older. He's an employee on her father's ranch, and she's loved him for as long as she can remember. So a ton of pining. I'm intrigued, and I'm excited to jump into this story, hopefully in the near future. Let's see if I can prioritize it. The next book I have is Bound in Sin. I got this for free. This is by May Pierce, and it's a fantasy about a succubus, and it looks like she's on the run for some reason, and she's hiding out in some church. And she's a succubus, so she has needs, and it looks like she is attracted to the pastor and some other handsome man, and she's running from her ex. So it could be a reverse harem, but when I scroll down to the tropes on Goodreads, it says menage, which means 3. And it also says MM romance. So we'll see how this goes. Intrigued, and it's a novella, and somebody's review says that they were very impressed with the emotional depth that was packed into the story. So there's that. Okay. And then the next one I have is called One Little Secret. This is the last one that I downloaded for free off this list, not including like my Stuff Your Kindle Day haul, which I can link if you want to check that out, because obviously I got those all for free. But like before that, this is the last book I downloaded for free that I haven't talked about yet, and it's called One Little Secret. And it's funny because in my Kindle, it just looks like a PDF, like there's no book cover on it, and it cuts off right before I can see the author's name and the description in the little thumbnail of the image. And like, I don't want to click it and open it because it's going to trigger, I don't know if it's going to trigger my good, I don't know. I just don't feel like opening it. So I don't know who it's by, I don't know what it's about, and I just find that ironic because it's going to be a secret until I get to it. So I have that also. There are a handful of books called One Little Secret on Goodreads, and I don't know which version I have. Then for my IRL book club, we had picked Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, so I bought that on ebook as well. And I already talked about this like months ago, but I really didn't enjoy it. I'm so sorry. I know some people absolutely love this book. Some people it's like their top 10 books of the year or whatever, top 5, number 1, whatever. But like, I kind of like low-key despised it. I just like really didn't like it. I thought Emily was so unlikable. I thought the story was quite boring, and I didn't see any romance at all. Like, sure, there's a romance, but like I didn't feel any of the pining. I just didn't like the format that it was written in. It was like mostly negative feelings towards this book. And I skimmed probably the last 35%, but I had to read it. Otherwise, I like would have never picked this book up, but now I own it. So it's too bad I can't give away ebooks and like leave it in a little free library, because I don't necessarily want to keep it, and I would pass it on, but I physically can't. But I wasn't gonna buy a physical copy because that was more expensive. Okay, so back into the physical books, which is a little more fun because you get to see them. I have For My Lady's Kiss. Look at this historical romance. And I got this off of Ava's recommendation from Ava's Romance Books, I believe. I believe she was the one that recommended this to me. And, well, not me specifically, she just recommended it in general. And I picked this up off Amazon, so I'm happy to have a physical copy of it. So I believe this is a captor captive, because if I'm remembering correctly, Ava had described this one scene and it sold me on the whole story. But the man has the woman by her braid and is like holding it through the night so she won't escape. And they're like sharing the bed, I imagine, because obviously he's holding on to her and they're sleeping. And I was just like, what? Like, I need to read that scene. So I was absolutely sold. I mean, captor captive is like a gray area kind of thing. And historicals, you know, especially if they're written a long time ago, can be a little sketchy with things that like really wouldn't fly in 2023 anymore. This was written in the 90s, but we give the olden times a pass and we criticize the things that they made mistakes on, but we can still enjoy the things that are fun about them. So we'll see if there are any like major red flags. But I'm just really excited to give this a try. So the last 3 books I'm gonna talk about in this haul are 3 books from the Immortals After Dark series by Kresley Cole. I just have the first 3. I think there's like a ton, I really don't know. I've never read anything by Kresley Cole, but again, obviously I heard great things and I got these secondhand, so for a pretty good price. The first one is A Hunger Like No Other. The second one is No Rest for the Wicked. And then the third one is Wicked Deeds on the Winter's Night. So excited about these. I don't know what the time period is for these. Probably like maybe contemporary, back when they were written. This was written in 2006. But yeah, excited to have these secondhand editions. These like look how fun this is. And if I love it, I'll keep finding them and buying them and reading them. I also have like another vampire series, but I'm not gonna talk about it in this, but like I wanna collect that too because I see them all over New York, but I don't wanna like collect all of them until I read at least the one that I own. So I can't buy more Kresley Cole Immortals After Dark books until I get through these ones to prove that I actually like them, because I'm not just gonna buy them and then not like the writing or the story. And 3 is plenty. 3 is like pushing it, you know what I mean? If I have more than 3 and I've never read one of her books, like that's not my style. So I hope I really like these. So that's it for this book haul. I still have a ton of books in the background over here that I need to talk to you about, but I'm gonna put those in separate book haul videos, so definitely keep your eyes peeled for that coming out in the near future. If you enjoyed, please leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'd greatly appreciate it. Obviously, it helps out my channel. If you want to spend more time with me, you can find me on Instagram at being.daphne. But that's all I have for today, and I will catch you in another video. Bye!